The greatest match in sports anime. What's going on, y'all? It's me, Speeches. Check out a weird back with another video. And today we're reacting to the greatest sports match in anime by Mocha. I saw Inazuma 11 was in the thumbnail, and I was like, yeah, it's been a little minute since we reacted to anything Inazuma 11. And I know y'all really enjoyed the other videos I posted back then. If y'all still haven't seen those, y'all can go check those out. And yeah, I'm ready to see what he has to his take, Mocha's take on this show, because like we said, this show is crazy. Like these kids are going through pain and suffering. Regular football as it is tough. Now you got niggas shooting motherfucking kamehamehas and black holes at you. It's just like, how do I practice against it? So you know what I mean? Like, what do I do? If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, do all that, hit the bell so you know when I post, so you can never miss another video. And without further ado, let's get straight into the greatest matches sports anime history. Let's do it.
Amazing match. What is the greatest match in sports anime? There's countless amazing matches to choose from the battle of concepts in Haikyuu, to the Blue Lock 11 versus Japan's under-20s, to Vorpal Swords versus Jabberwock in Kuroko no Basket, and even Jinga versus Ryuga.
Hey, these are all fire.
There's so many reasons to love each of these matches, but I'm going to show you why Raimon versus Zeus is undeniably the greatest match in sports anime because of three very special things that happen in it. But these aren't the only things that make it an amazing match. And to show you what I mean, I'll also be comparing it to these games. And we'll start with the most important component.
Boy, that nigga got house, bro. That shit's crazy.
Build up. For those of you unfamiliar with this kind of an anime, Inazuma 11 is pretty much your quintessential underdog story told in the form of a football anime. This kid's name is Endo, and he's the captain of a rundown football team. He's also the grandson of a legendary goalkeeper who died under some pretty
I didn't even know that.
Circumstances. And
oh
this
shit!
Is the first
that nigga
seed that
died.
eventually see blossom
Oh
during
damn!
the
That shit got dark real quick. Damn, so he's like he's doing it for his fire. See now it's even fire. He's not even more fire.
Show does so well. There are a few key things that happen on Raimon's journey to the finals that all pay off when they play. And part of
Real Steel,
so
that movie was fire.
The same reason most of us love sports anime so much, the structure. Let me explain. This is everyone Raimon plays on their way to the finals against Zeus, and this is everyone Karasuno plays on their way to the finals against Shiratorizawa. See anything familiar? It's all just
the tournament
one
arcs
big
are great.
tournament arc. And there is not a single soul on this planet that doesn't froth at the mouth at the thought of watching a tournament. There's a reason the Champions League knockout rounds are so much more entertaining than the group stages. There's a reason the UA Sports Festival is one of the most loved.
Damn, that arc was good.
And there's a reason we all love Beyblade. This is a show about kids throwing spinning toys at one another, and yet it is so sick. Why? Tournament arcs. They make it so that anyone can lose. In fact, they make it so that almost everyone loses. And that massively increases the stakes, especially when the teams you care about.
Alright, bro, that should be deal.
But a tournament arc alone isn't enough to keep things interesting, even with the promise of an epic final battle. There's another component that's just as key. And in Inazuma 11, this starts with the formation of the team itself. So why is this so important? Well, it goes without saying that everyone loves an underdog story. In Blue Lock, Isagi starts off as pretty much the worst player there, besides this guy. And he's also in the worst team, but that's what makes it so interesting. We wouldn't really care if he's one of the best players,
then
there wouldn't be much room for growth. And that's what's so important here. The easiest way to keep someone's attention is through progression. If you're watching this video, it's because it's getting closer and closer to Raimon finally playing Zeus while covering important things that happen along the way for the game to make sense. And in the same way, putting Isagi right at the bottom is the best way to see him progress. But there's more to it than just that. Raimon are as underdog as they come. They were barely able to string together 11 players to play in their first match, and they still ended up getting 20-1.
Pause. They get what? You said what, sir? Everybody.
The key here is how they struggle to even get in.
Okay, see, I didn't even know that.
If Goenji hadn't magically spawned a pair of shorts, they'd be screwed. Seriously though, where did he get these shorts from? And I wonder where else we've seen a team struggling thanks to not having enough players. And these aren't the only sports anime that have used this trick. In Haikyuu, Karasuno start out pretty bare bones with Nishinoya and Asahi joining the team 9 episodes in. By putting the team we care about at a disadvantage, it just makes us care about them more. We desperately want them to win. And it's even better when they don't. I'd argue it's far more interesting seeing the protagonists lose than it is to see them win. And we've seen this quite often, with Team Z losing their first game and Karasuno losing to Seijo. But Inazuma 11 approaches things a little differently. In Haikyuu, Karasuno are able to reinvent.
Cause you got the redemption arc, bro. The redemption arc hits like way harder. Cause like that's the only thing. Cause this is my whole thing. It is great watching them lose, but as a big Hajime no Ippo fan, watching him, cause I feel like boxing's a little different. I don't know. I feel like boxing's a little different than the other sports, but like watching him go through the adversity and eventually end up winning. Cause multiple, I feel like boxing's a little different with that. Cause Ippo hardly ever really lost in like the big matches, besides the last one, of course. But did he? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he lost to that old nigga, right? I remember. I know he lost. I'm pretty sure he lost like his last match, like his last tournament match. Or they do that. They do all that and then they have him lose the last one, and it's like, okay, now we gotta go back to the drawing board and all that stuff. But it's always an interesting trope. Yeah. Shout out to sports anime, man.
Torizawa. Now, I personally like this second Seijo match even better than the actual final, but that might be because I love
Kawa
it.
is fucking tough,
actually
bro.
Does something similar. While Team Z don't have another chance to play Team X, Isagi is still able to get his revenge against Barrow in the 2v2s. Hell, even Jenga gets his ass kicked by Ryuga before finally beating him. And we see the same thing in Inazuma 11. Kind of. Raimon are eventually able to beat Royal Academy thanks to the goalkeeper and striker jumping off
that's
the
a clean ass.
a synchronized overhead kick.
Wait, what?
Now this game is easily the second best game in Season 1, with only the Zeus game being better. But I'd argue these matches do more for Royal than they do for Raimon, and by comparison, they make the Zeus game even better. We know that Royal Academy are crazy strong. They've won the football frontier
40 years in a row.
Granted, most of them were likely because of their coach's dirty tactics, but that wasn't the team's fault. The team themselves are actually quite likable, even this guy. And that's what makes it even better when they get utterly destroyed by Zeus. Seriously, they got slapped up so bad they had to call it quits before the second half even started. In fact, Zeus are so powerful that they've
that's
never
the super
even
alien,
played a second
the
half.
angel
This
jump.
isn't to say that Royal's only purpose is to get annihilated so we know how strong Zeus are. The Royal match and the build-up to it have some of the best moments of Season 1. The show just makes great use of this opportunity in a similar way to how Seijo have never been able to beat Torizawa, and that's what's so important. Haikyuu is the king of character dynamics, and by using Ushiwaka's blunt nature to badmouth Seijo, they set his team up as this final boss to the point the intro to the show literally portrays him as a mountain that the team have to climb over. And
I'd never realized that in the intro. I'd never that never like processed to be during the intro. Wow. I don't know. I thought the nigga just turned into a hawk. I was confused, bruh. I was like, where did it come from? I never heard that. Okay, that actually makes sense.
Any final battle,
And just because I thought he was just like, oh, he's the main, like,
and that
you know,
process usually begins by first tearing down the characters we care about.
the main
That
fucking
brings us to
antagonist, I
Endo's
guess.
struggles. You'd think that after all the character development he went through during the Royal Academy match, the show would finally give him a break. But this positive ball of energy is put through hell both before and during the Zeus game. You see, while Raimon are undeniably the underdogs, Endo is probably the best goalkeeper in the tournament. I've said this countless times, but he is literally the Lionel Messi of goalkeepers, saving his team to the point his hands stopped working. They're literally
That's me in rematch, boy.
which has pulled his team out of trouble again.
Or whatever the hell is soccer
But
game.
eventually, it breaks. Now you might be asking, Mocha, what kind of shot can break through such a powerful move? Surely it must be pretty epic, right? Well,
Ooh, wait a minute. What the hell? I ain't seen this one.
Between this and the utter gutsiness bat, I can't decide which move is more
What the hell was
ridiculous.
that?
The point is, God Hand wasn't strong enough against Triangle Z, and according to Kiddo, Zeus have even more powerful shots than that. Whoa. Now I know what you're thinking. Didn't this guy play for Royal Academy? What's he doing in the Raimon team? Well, that's actually a pretty interesting story. And don't worry, I'm not going to bore you by recapping what happened. Side, I don't give a shit what you think. Now get dunked on by Endo stopping Emperor Penguin and beating Royal so that Raimon officially enter the football frontier where they first play Shuriken, a team of ninjas that actually use tactics for a change. This is a surprisingly good game where we get to see the wall, which is one of the most iconic defensive moves in the show, and Kazamaru drops a generational masterclass that even puts Messi against Madrid to shame. We then learn Royal got destroyed by Zeus, and all the players are injured besides Kiddo, who missed the game because he hurt his foot against Raimon. He ends up joining Raimon to get revenge.
This
and
nigga just put up a great wall.
Never conceded, except they end up conceding as we get to see the Inazuma.
That motherfucker
another
cold,
iconic
bro.
special move. Then we meet Ichinose, who is Domin and Aki's friend from the States, who is supposed to
what?
be dead.
Huh?
Turns out he's not dead. Don't ask why. And he teaches the team Tri-Pegasus before.
Okay, the
joining
lore,
Raimon
the
as they
lore.
get careful.
Yo, why they got them
Also,
fat ass
this is where Endo's
fucking
God Hand fixes
fucking
before joining
lips on them,
Raimon
bruh?
as they play.
Pause. Look at these shits, bruh. I know you thinking like you talking, nigga. Like shut up. Fucking bro, what is this? It look like the whole ass cheeks on they fucking mouths, bruh. This is your ass cheek on that nigga face, bruh. That's what y'all did. Or they kind of look like beards, though. It could be beards. That'd be kind of weird, though. Who cares?
This
Fucking
is where Endo's
ass
God
cheek.
Hand
God
finally
damn.
cracks into tiny little pieces. But that's nothing compared to how it shatters his confidence. And that brings us to Endo desperately trying to learn a legendary goalkeeping move created by his grandfather.
Oh, so this nigga
Marjin
third
the
generation.
Hand. Now, if you didn't know, Marjin means devil, and you'll see a lot of this sort of symbolism throughout the show, which sounds really bad, but it's actually pretty sick, so I can't complain. Anyway, this move is supposed to be the
This nigga, the Randy
goalkeeping
Orton of
ever.
goalies.
But the problem is, Endo is really struggling to learn it to the point that even Aki notices.
あんなエンド見たことない。
I mean, that's just a lie, isn't it? She saw him upset when his friend wouldn't be allowed to stay with her brother if Raimon beat Royal. Yeah, that's right. In this anime, a children's football match determines
I
that two
remember that,
siblings
the
are
C-shit
allowed to stay
video.
together. Those are the kind of stakes we're dealing with.
Oh,
And
that's
if you
so
want to
funny.
see even crazier stuff happen in season 2, like a literal alien invasion, make sure to subscribe. And speaking of stakes, just in case you weren't sure just how important it is for Endo to learn Marjin the Hand, the anime decides to just straight up show us by introducing us to a character that almost everyone loves. There's actually 2 players in Inazuma 11 fans literally salivate.
Oh, yeah.
We'll meet one of them
Ice,
in season
Ice,
2,
and you
so
feel
stay
me?
tuned for that video. But for now, meet the captain of Zeus.
Big ass. Sheesh. How you come and just flex on everybody?
J'aimerais tellement lui dire, mais je n'ose pas.
Now, I'm going to casually gloss over the fact that this kid just stopped 2 shots at the same time, despite not even being a goalkeeper. I don't quite think you understand just how much.
Yeah, he really
aura this
did just
guy
pull
has.
up an
It's
aura
as if the
farm like
makers of the
crazy.
show wanted to create the biggest Giga Chad in the series. They even give him 2 of the craziest special moves. But you'll have
His
to wait
special
until the
move is
actual
tough.
match for that, because there's no way he's using either of those against a kid that can barely stand up. Do you understand what kind of a top G you need
Oh,
to
my
be
top
walk
G.
into your ops yard and look everyone in the eye as you knock their captain out? And then he straight up just disappears like he's Gilgamesh from Fate. Introducing Aphrodite at this point is pure genius. Up until this point, we've only heard how good Zeus are, but now we finally get to see it. It's pretty similar to how Blue Lock is able to show us how good
Yeah, I
Ren
was
is,
like,
just by him
Ren's
taking the ball
crazy.
twice. And this is something that's really needed. You can't have a match without someone to root against. In Haikyuu, that was done in the form of Ushiwaka, who they pretty much make out to be the final boss. He's strong, powerful, intelligent, athletic, and has seemingly endless stamina. Just think about what you see in that final game. Hinata's declaration of war, Nishinoya's persistence, the third years giving it their all for what could be their final ever game, and the greatest
Yeah,
moment
bro,
of the
when he-
season.
Oh.
All of these moments are in response to pure, unadulterated strength.
I always forget the
These
niggas in the
moments would not
glasses
have been
name,
the
but
same
he
if it
had
were not
a
for the
fire
utterly
ass
perfect
little
writing that
little
went into
arc,
crafting
bruh.
a great antagonist. And in the same way, Aphrodite is exactly what Inazuma Inazuma 11 needed. So yeah, I'd say it's pretty important for Endo to quickly learn Majin the Hand. But before I go into whether or not he's actually able to learn
And
it, I want
her
to point
fucking
out
head
two
is
amazing lines of dialogue that just show you why
head fat as
Inazuma 11
hell.
is in S tier when it comes to sports anime. For starters, Endo
Why
thinks
is her?
he's
No, I feel like her head is the only one that was like
He's staying as both
abnormally.
the captain and keeper.
I'm
And this is
tripping.
amazing from both a character and a narrative perspective. And it's really important in this Zeus match. It speaks volumes of his character that the first thing he thinks about isn't his role as a goalkeeper, even though that's what he loves doing. It's actually his role as captain that's the most important to him. And this is actually one of the first times the show flat out mentions the fact he's the captain. Sure, it's obvious, because the show makes it obvious. It's not something that needs to be stated because almost every single interaction Endo has makes it so damn clear that he's an amazing captain. But that's also what makes it that much harder to watch him be so unsure of himself. And that's where the second amazing line of dialogue comes in.
でもあの笑顔を見るのはちょっと辛いな。笑顔。キーパーの責任、キャプテンの責任。あんなに笑顔が苦しく見える遠藤君は
Damn.
初めて。
There's probably nobody better to understand how Endo feels than Aki. She's one of his closest friends and recognizes that he has to force a smile for the benefit of his team, and it only makes us feel
Damn.
that much worse for him. We're used to him being bubbly, cheerful, and hot-headed, but now he has to fake those things, and it just makes it tragic.
じいちゃん、マジンザハンドって何なんだよ。どうやったらできるんだ。
Now the show does
Damn,
balance
this show,
out
yo,
with
this
some
show
more
get
wholesome
deep,
and
nigga. I
light-hearted
ain't even know. I've never heard like any like dialogue from this show. Like I've just seen like the moments. Damn, this show get deep. This show get kind of like damn. Okay, shout out to Inazuma 11, man. I thought y'all was just like we playing soccer, we shooting fucking. I'm throwing the ball up in the air and it's turning into a bazooka and you gotta catch that motherfucker if you don't want to get scored on. I thought that's what mostly Inazuma 11 was, but this shit, she got layers, bro. She got layers. I thought it was just a children's show.
We get to see a lot of the side characters shine as they try to help Endo learn Majin the Hand. And we get this lovely scene of Natsumi almost killing Endo with a rice bowl she made and then calling him high maintenance. And we also get this scene of Ichinose showing complete faith that Endo will be able to learn the move even though he barely knows him. And that speaks volumes for the kind of character Endo is. And surely his friends are correct. Surely he can learn Majin the Hand in time, right? After all, he's one of the best and most talented players in the show. I mean, he's literally a part of 4 of the team's most powerful special
That
moves,
Tripegasus
so he
is
should be
tough.
able to learn anything. And this actually brings me to a problem I have with how other people think of Endo. A lot of people are under the impression that he's remarkably talented because he's the grandson of the legendary goalkeeper Daisuke. Well, no. The most noticeable thing about Endo
That
has
nigga
never
third
been his
generation,
power or
bruh.
skills.
That
It's
was
his
I
fighting
knew
spirit.
it. I knew he was about to say that
His
shit.
skill as a goalkeeper is something he developed through blood, sweat, and tears because
The
of his
motherfucking
love for the
grind,
sport.
nigga.
And yes, maybe he was born with a high potential for football, but there really isn't any way to prove that. Later on in the series, we see characters who are able to pick things up far quicker than Endo ever could. But the point is, he had to grind himself to dust to get to where he is now. So I'd argue Endo's real talent isn't how good of a goalkeeper he is, but is actually his love for football and an unyielding hunger to keep playing. And that's what makes it so painful when we see him doubt himself. We know how hard he's worked, but we also know that his God Hand, a skill that was once invincible, is
Damn.
now completely useless. Not only that, but he simply isn't good enough to learn his granddad's legendary move for one simple reason. He isn't his granddad, so he
Damn.
can't learn it. And that's heartbreaking.
稲妻イレブンのおじさんたちが叶えられなかった夢を俺たちは叶えたいんだ。
Oh, I
So
want to
that
watch
brings
this
us to the
show
end of the
now.
match, where Raimon's still have no way off things that were built up earlier. For starters, this is Raimon's ex-coach who was fired because he tried to murder the players. Yes, you
What?
heard that right. And
Oh,
he's
I
currently on
remember
the
that.
run, not from the police, but from Kageyama, who has been the villain of this
Kageyama.
story from day
Is
one. Now,
that
you might be
fucking-
asking, what makes Kageyama so scary that this guy is literally wetting himself thinking about him? Well, let's
Bro, that
recap
nigga
what he's
runs
done so
shit.
far. When we're first introduced to him, he steamrolls this unnamed school because they lost to Royal in a football match. After that, we learn that 40 years ago, he sabotaged the original Inazuma
Oh,
severely injuring them so they
shit.
couldn't make it to the finals. He then asked Raimon's old coach to do the same to them. But look,
This nigga. Bro, what the hell? What in the world? Who would have known? Who would have guessed it? That is kind of crazy. He's the reason this dad's fucking
Overall, this
dead.
unnamed
He
school because they lost
killed
to Royal in a
them.
football match. After that, we learned that 40 years ago, he sabotaged the original Inazuma 11's
He
team by severely
murdered
injuring
them.
them so they couldn't make it to the finals. He then asked
Yo.
Raimon's old coach to do the same to them, but luckily he was caught by my angel Natsu. He was then responsible for injuring Raimon's chairman, who is also Natsumi's father. And then he gave us this killer line which foreshadowed two things. One of which was the fact that he literally tried to kill the Raimon team by dropping steel girders on them. Come on, my guy. Is football really that deep? Apparently
can't
it is,
be.
because it brings us to the second meaning of this line. If you spit on gods, they'll rain on you later. Why is this so important? Because this guy is the coach of Zeus. Yes, you heard me clearly. He coaches the team that obliterated his old team to the point they were so injured they couldn't keep playing. And to finish things off, he
Nigga pulled the
orchestrated
KD.
a car crash that left Goenji's little sister in a coma.
Damn,
That's right.
how do you
This kid is
orchestrate
so
that?
bad They had to try and kill his sister. And now you're thinking, yes,
Nah,
that's all
bro,
pretty bad, but
like,
at least
there's
it
no
can't get
way.
worse.
大輔さん、お前のおじいさんの死には影山が関わっているかもしれない。
Now, most people would call this guy stupid for telling Endo something so big before such an important match. And honestly, I wouldn't blame you. Except this is just another example of the show's excellent writing. His reasoning is actually really sound. He doesn't want Endo playing the game out of his hatred for Kageyama. He wants him playing out of his love for the sport. It's one last beautiful scene we get before we're thrown into non-stop action. Endo loves the sport and he'll never let anyone tarnish it for him. In that sense,
Yeah, that's
he
what's
has
up,
something that
Endo.
original Inazuma
Fuck that
11
bitch
had.
ass nigga.
A
How do you
completely
just?
love for football. And the same thing goes for the rest of his team. And I really mean his team. He built this team from nothing, even when the school didn't acknowledge them as a club. Hell, even a lot of the players didn't consider themselves to be a proper football team. But Endo persisted and never gave up. And eventually, his love for the sport spread from one person to the next until he built a team capable of going up against the very gods themselves. But whether or not they actually do it remains to be seen.
What the hell did they
how
just
did Endo get
drink?
into this flying stadium? Did they just have some kind of lift taking them into it? And how is this thing flying in the first place?
How did they
I
put?
suppose-
No, the real question is yeah, that is the thing. The real question is how the fuck you put these sculptures up here? You know, how the fuck you get these shits? Who carved these? Who carved these in this shit? You know. And you niggas got fucking 8-packs, nigga. What the hell? I don't understand statues, bro. 'Cause who the hell are you carving that looks like this? I've never seen an 8-pack a day in my life.
Did they just have some kind of lift taking them into it? And how is this thing flying in the first place? But I suppose the better question is, are Raimon ready to fight Zeus?
How did they get in the
No, they
stadium?
are
Oh
not.
yeah, no, they were
Zeus's
getting cooked.
team, who you can probably
Nigga,
guess
that
are
nigga have a
based on
helmet
the
on?
Greek
Is that
gods,
like-
utterly destroy Raimon with
Can you
ease
do
as
that?
We finally get to see Aphrodite's special moves, and the first of which is just so damn badass.
Frozen, nigga said, niggas hit.
Do you
This nigga's
understand
hit.
how cold you need to be to literally snap your fingers and walk through the opposition, and after you're done, an actual hurricane blows everyone away? I remember first watching this match with my head in my hands thinking, nah, there's no way Raimon can win this. This is going to be a worse ass kicking than Vegeta versus Frieza.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it was bad.
God, you actually are crying.
And I'd like to say I was wrong, but just watch this. Do you understand how cold you need to be to literally snap your fingers and walk through the opposition, and after you're
Nigga
done,
said
an actual
freeze.
hurricane blows everyone away? I
Ooh,
remember
that shit
first
clean.
watching this match with my head in my
That
hands
shit's
thinking,
so
nah,
clean,
there's
bro.
no way Raimon can win this. This is going to
Bro,
be a
the
worse
edits.
ass kicking than Vegeta versus Frieza.
Oh my God, you actually are crying.
And I'd like to say I was wrong, but just watch this.
Oh boy, you get them angel wings. I got angel eyes over things. Every no not being.
Have you
Oh my
ever seen a
lord, bro.
Clover
It's like,
special
what do you
move than
do?
that? This bro just grew wings, flipped his hair,
That's just
flew
funny.
into the sky, and created a literal nuke
Can
before
we get
kicking
much
it at this poor boy.
higher?
And obviously, God hand can't stop it. This bullshit gymnastics routine
That
managed
hand
to
can't
break
do
through it.
shit, boy.
Obviously, it stood no chance against
Yeah,
an
bro,
actual
that shit broke
spirit
the
bomb.
God
But maybe it's
hand.
not all bad. I mean, in football, it doesn't really matter if you concede as long as you score more goals than
Why
the
did you have a
opposition.
MAGA hat on? What was that? Those dreads.
Oh.
This nigga just wait. What? Typhoon. Oh damn! I think I remember
yeah, we
seeing
might
that.
be
I
screwed
remember
up.
seeing that in one of the
Zeus
other
score
videos.
again and again, making it 3-0 and injuring 4 Rymon players.
Damn,
which
the
means
Defiant
the
Arrows
only
is tough.
person left on the bench is
that Kevin?
God. Now I'm not gonna be too hard on this guy. Sure, he might have run away during
Who the
Rymon's
fuck is
first ever
that?
match, but he did help them beat Otaku Junior High.
Damn,
and
he
who am I
dipped
kidding?
off.
This is gonna be a massacre.
僕が行きますメガネ、
うん
僕だってライモンの一員だ
メガネ
Look, I
Oh, so he's
promise
like the
I have not
Usopp.
edited a single thing about what you're about to see next. This is genuinely exactly as it happens in the show.
梅岡に代わってメガネライモン交代枠を全て使い切りました
What is he about to do? He's about to die. Oh.
入ったばかりのメガネが退場
So now Ryman down to 10 men and have to somehow score 4 goals. And it actually
What did he do to him? What did he
could have been
do?
more, but Zeus stopped caring about scoring and
Fucking
literally just stopped bullying.
big ass
Ryman.
black
And for the
nigga
first
right up
time,
behind him,
Endo
bro.
is the one that considers
I don't
giving
wanna
up, and it's
assume what
actually his
happened, but,
team
like,
that are there to support him. So with no other choice,
Man got his,
Endo
you know,
uses Margin the hand, and obviously it doesn't.
He may have
work.
took
Do
his
you know
cheeks, you know?
nothing
I don't know
about
how else to say
creating
it.
tension? But apparently neither does the show because Zeus take a water break midway through the half, which is super sus. Naturally decides to investigate what's going on, and the girls find
Water
out
break?
that
What the-
I
but
kid
nigga,
you
that shit
not,
is not
Zeus
water.
are doping. These kids are like 13 years old, and
I mean,
this
duh.
man has them taking performance-enhancing drugs.
Off that
Someone
galaxy gas,
please
nigga.
lock him up. But before you do that, wait just a little bit longer because the second half soon gets underway and Endo changes into his granddad's old gloves, which is actually pretty important because as he's getting bullied by Aphrodite, he notices this mark on the left glove, and that changes everything.
Oh yeah. That's fire. This music tough.
Was that not worth the wait or what? Inazuma 11 is the
This
master
is
of
lit.
payoff. This kid just summoned a devil to stop a nuke, and none of us questioned it because it's just so damn hype. But I'm well aware some of you want to know what the hell just happened, so I'll do my best to explain. Whenever Endo uses any kind of special move, he always uses his right hand, and he's been doing the same for Margin the hand. The only problem is, this entire time, Margin the hand is technically a left-handed move since it gathers power from the heart, which is on the left side of his body.
Okay,
His
I
granddad
didn't know
found a
that.
way around this issue by first
Oh.
channeling the power from his heart into his left hand before transferring it to the right. And by spinning, he's able to maximize 100% of this power. Okay, for the record, I know this doesn't make any sense, but considering how sick this moment was, we can let it slide. And of course, stopping God knows is one thing, but they are still
Yeah, I
3-0 down,
don't- I
and
don't
there's still the
understand it,
issue of not being able
but,
to score.
like-
So let's see what the team do about that.
Yeah, it's fire. Yeah.
This
Get that
move to me
fucking
perfectly
big fat-
encapsulates
your big
what
fat ass
Inazuma
on,
11
bruh.
is about and why it's so amazing. The reason this match is so good is because it's more than just an exciting showdown. It isn't just a final battle. It's a powerful testament to the enduring themes of teamwork and friendship that Inazuma 11 constantly reiterates. It's great to have shows like Blue Lock that break away from this cliche by highlighting the individuality in sports. And while that's a refreshing take, football at its core is a game built on teamwork, on the trust and the bond between players.
Yeah.
And Inazuma 11 understands this better than anyone. And nowhere is this more evident than in this very game. We see the effect Endo's success has on the rest of the team. They've been with him every step of the way and they know how hard he's worked.
Power
And he
friendship.
hasn't just done it for his love for the sport. He's done it for them. And in turn, his team respond by combining their strengths in ways we've never seen before. What's so beautiful about this is that they aren't pulling out entirely new new techniques. Instead, they are combining old ones. We've seen Fire Tornado and Twin Boost before, but we've never seen them used in this way.
Nah,
They've
that's
come this far
fire.
not by relying
They
on something
combined
new
that
or
joint, that's
unknown,
tough.
but by trusting in each other and in the foundations they've built. And at the heart of this is Endo.
エンドは何度でも何度でも立ち上がる。倒れるたびに強くなる。お前はエンドの強さにはかなわない。
Kiddo's words beautifully captured this sentiment. He says that they're going to take the ball that Endo saved.
This
and
music
score
going
the winner.
crazy?
And that
Hold on,
echoes
what the
back
hell?
to their very first game against Royal Academy, when Goenji felt that same drive to finish
Damn.
what Endo started. This shared desire to honor their captain by giving their all shows just how deep their bond has become over time. What makes this match so emotional is that it reflects the very essence of why we love team sports. How one person's courage can inspire an entire team, and how in the end it's not individual
lit.
talent that wins
Is
the
that
game,
baseball
but the
anime
combined
fire?
will of a group
I've never seen
united
that one.
by a common goal. And nowhere is this more evident than when Raimon scored a winning goal. We have Domon, who started off as a spy with the intention of betraying Raimon, and Ichinose, who clawed his way back from a terrible accident because of his love for football. And we have the boy who brought them all together.
Let's go,
And
Endo.
finally,
Let's
we
go,
have
Endo.
Goenji. The boy that scored Raimon's first ever goal is now scoring their last. And that's why Raimon vs Zeus is the greatest match
That boy
in
Goenji.
sports anime. Because it reminds us of why we fell in love
That boy
with this show
Goenji.
in the first place.
That
But
nigga Steph
even
Curry.
without this game, there's still so many more reasons to love Inazuma 11. So if you want to see why Inazuma 11 is the king of dialogue, click this video on the left. Thanks for watching.
That was a great video. That was a great video. Every time we watch something about Inazuma 11, I get even more interested about the show and all its lore. Cause it's just you wouldn't think it gets this deep, but it really does, and it's really interesting. So shout out to Sports Anime, shout out to Inazuma 11, and yeah, shout out to Mocha, and like the video, do all that you made to the end of the video. I appreciate you so much. If you want more videos like this, subscribe, like, let me know what you want in future videos, and this will be what you're got. I'm out of here. Peace. See ya. Cool.